If you've just paid for something in cash for your business, and now you're wondering how to record that in QuickBooks Online so that it gets added to your business expenses on your profit and loss report, then this video is for you. Now, before we actually record anything, we have to create an account in QuickBooks to track that money that's spent. That account that we need to create is called our petty cash account. So we're logged into QuickBooks Online here, and from our dashboard, we're going to go up to the top of the screen and click on Accounting. Now, over here on the left-hand menu, we're going to click on Chart of Accounts. This brings up all of our accounts currently set up for our business, our bank accounts, assets, credit cards, income accounts, and so on. So from here, we're going to go up to the top right of the screen and click New Account. Now, we're going to name this account Petty Cash, or if you prefer, you could also call it Cash on Hand. Now, let's select our account type. We're going to set this up as a bank, and we'll also leave our detail type here as Cash on Hand. Now, let's go to the bottom right, and we're going to click Save. So now we can see here in our chart of accounts that our petty cash account shows up here among our bank accounts. Now, this account is going to act like our holder for any cash your business is using. Now, we naturally want to go from here and immediately record our cash expenses. But the important question we first need to answer is, where did this cash come from so that we can record that initial cash in this petty cash account in order to spend out of it? There are multiple areas where this cash could have come from. It could have been a sale where the customer paid in cash. You could have withdrawn cash from the ATM. You could have gotten cash back when you deposited a check. It could be your personal cash that you're using for a business purpose. Whatever the situation is, that initial cash needs to be recorded in your petty cash account. Now, I'm not going to cover all of these ways in this video since the topic of this specific video is recording cash expenses in QuickBooks Online. So let's pretend in this example that you, as the business owner, went to the bank to deposit some checks, and you realized that you forgot your business credit card back at the office. But you really needed to stop by a couple stores on the way back to the office for some office supplies and specific tool that you need. So you decide to get some cash back from a customer's check that you're depositing. So the cash in our example today came from cash back when we deposited a customer's check. So we're going to go up here to the top left of the screen and hover over the Create icon and click on Bank Deposit. Now, for the most part, we're going to handle this the same way we would handle a normal deposit. We're going to choose the checking account we're depositing the check into, select the deposit date, select the payments that were included in that deposit, and then this part is the only difference when we actually get cash back. Down here in the bottom right, you'll see cash back goes to. Now, this is where we want to select our petty cash account. We can add a cashback memo here if we'd like, and then we're going to enter the cashback amount. In our case, let's say we took $600 in cash. So let's enter that $600 here. Then down at the bottom right, we're going to click Save and Close. Now, if we go to our register here for petty cash, so let's find petty cash and go to the right of it and click View Register, we can now see that $600 deposit into our petty cash account. This is that cash back that we took from the bank that is now in our pocket. In other cases, this might be in your register or your safe or wherever you keep your business cash. Now, currently on our financial reports, this is going to show up on our balance sheet. So let's go over to our left-hand menu and click on Reports, and let's choose our balance sheet. Now, the only thing that has happened in your books right now, based on what we just did, is that $600 cash has moved from undeposited funds, which were where the checks were sitting waiting to be deposited, and have moved into our petty cash account here. Okay, now that we have cash on hand in our petty cash account, we can now record our cash expenses that we use that cash for. So you've left the bank and you now have that cash in your pocket. Your first stop is Staples for some office supplies, and you wind up spending $27 on office supplies. So let's record that purchase in QuickBooks. So we're going to hover over the Create icon and we're going to click on Expense. Now we're going to choose Staples here as the payee. In the payment account, this is very important. We need to choose the petty cash account since we made this purchase with cash. Then we'll go through and we'll enter all the other details, the date of the purchase. We can enter the payment method if we want, but that's optional. The category, so let's put office supplies here. You can enter a description here if you'd like. In the amount field, we'll enter the $27 that we paid. Down here in the attachment section, you can also attach a picture of your cash receipt if you'd like. It's optional, but it's a place you can help track your cash receipts. You'll definitely want to keep track of your cash receipts like you'd keep track of any of your other receipts. And then we'll go to the bottom right and we'll click Save and Close. Now, if you're like me, you want to know what exactly happens in your books when you record that cash expense. So let's walk through that right quick. Here on our balance sheet, our petty cash balance no longer shows $600. It's dipped down to $573. If we click on that $573, we can now see our initial deposit into our petty cash account, which was our cash back that we pocketed. And we can also see our $27 purchase of office supplies from Staples. Now that's what happens on our balance sheet, but that $27 is also going to show up as an expense on our profit and loss report. So let's go over here to the left-hand menu and click on Reports and click on Profit and Loss Report. And now if we scroll down to our office supplies category and we click on the dollar amount to the right of it, we'll now see our $27 Staples purchase. Okay, you leave Staples and now you stop by Home Depot to pick up that tool that you need. But while you're in there, you see that they have a sale on a couple other small tools that you decide to get as well. And your total, when you get to the register, is $769. Now, if you remember, our cash back balance after we left Staples was $573. So now you pull out your personal cash to pay the difference of $196. So let's record that in QuickBooks. So we're going to hover over the Create icon and we're going to click on Expense. We're going to choose Home Depot here as the payee. In the payment account, make sure to choose petty cash. Enter the date of the purchase. The category, for this we'll choose small tools. Again, our description is optional. In the amount field, we'll enter the $769 that we paid and attach a receipt if we'd like. Then we'll go to the bottom right and we'll click Save and Close. Okay, now let's see what happens in our books. Currently on our screen, we still have the office supplies detail open. So if we go up here to the back to summary report and go back to our profit and loss report, let's go up here and refresh the report and then scroll down and find our small tools expense account. And let's click on the dollar amount to the right of it. We'll now see our $769 Home Depot purchase. Now let's go back to our balance sheet. So again, we'll click on Reports over here on the left-hand menu. We'll click on Balance Sheet and look at our petty cash account. Our balance now shows a negative balance of $196. If you ever have a negative balance show up on your petty cash account, that is a red flag to you that you haven't recorded the source of that cash that you spent. So you need to go back and trace down where that cash actually came from. Was it from a sale of a product? Was it your personal cash that you used that needs to be recorded? Did you write a check to cash and receive cash that way? Where did that money come from? If you remember correctly, that $196 was your personal cash that you spent at Home Depot. So essentially what happened here is you contributed cash to the business and immediately used it for a business expense. So we need to make sure to record that cash contribution. So let's hover over the Create icon and click on Bank Deposit. Now this time we need to make sure to choose the petty cash account here in the account field. Select the date. In the Received From field, you can put your name. In the account field, we're going to enter the correct equity account. So depending on how your business is set up and how your equity accounts are set up in QuickBooks, this might be shareholder contribution, this might be partner contribution, this might be owner investment. In this account, it's set up as owner's contributions. So we'll select that account here. We can put a description if we'd like. So we can put here personal cash used for Home Depot tools purchase. And let's enter the amount of cash we contributed, which was $196. And let's go to the bottom right and click Save and Close. Okay, now back here on our balance sheet, our petty cash account now shows a $0 balance. And if we click on the balance, we'll now see each of those transactions that we've recorded as our cash transactions. If we go up here and go back to Summary Report and we scroll down to the equity section of our balance sheet, we'll see our owner's contributions account now shows that $196. Now let's run through another few scenarios that you might run into when dealing with cash expenses. Let's go over here on the left-hand menu and click on the Home icon. We're going to click on Accounting. And then on the left, we're going to choose Chart of Accounts. Now let's locate our petty cash account and click on View Register. Okay, now currently our register here is showing all of the transactions that we've recorded to our petty cash account so far. Now let's say you contributed some more cash to the business. So we can either go up here to the Create icon and click Bank Deposit, or here in the petty cash register, we can go over here on the left, just above the top transaction, and click on this drop-down arrow and click Deposit. And now we can enter that information right here on this screen. So let's enter the date here. Since we as the owner are contributing cash, we'll enter our name here in the payee field. And then here in the account field, we'll enter owner's contributions again. We can enter a memo if we'd like, or just leave it blank. And then over here in the deposit field, we'll enter the amount we contributed. So let's enter $250. And then over here on the right, we'll click Save. Okay, now just like our contribution down here, this new $250 contribution is now added $250 to our petty cash balance and has also added $250 to our owner's contribution balance on our balance sheet. Now, let's say you stopped at Subway and you picked up subs for everyone working in the office. and you paid with this business cash. So we can go to the create icon and go to expense, or right here in the petty cash register, we can go over here and click on this drop down arrow again, and this time choose expense. Let's choose the date, enter the payee as Subway, enter the account as meals, add a memo if you want, and then add the amount that you spent, so $38 right here, and then we'll click save. Okay, now off to the right and up here toward the top of the screen, you can see the ending balance of your petty cash. That is totally fine. It's okay to have a balance in your petty cash account, but it's important that you reconcile it to your cash receipts and make sure the amount that shows here is the actual amount that is in your safe, your cash register, your money bag, an envelope, or wherever your petty cash is kept until it is spent and recorded. Now, let's say you went to the bank and you decided to deposit $150 of this cash into your business checking account. So let's hover over the create icon and click bank deposit. Now, this account field here is the destination account. So this time we're depositing into the checking account. So this field needs to be our checking account. Select the date, and this account field here will select our petty cash account that this money is coming from. And we're going to enter 150 in the amount field and click save and close at the bottom right. Okay, our balance here on the register now shows as $62 remaining in the petty cash account. Now let's say you're reconciling your petty cash account and you only have $12 in your safe. You're thinking, that money couldn't have just disappeared. I didn't purchase anything with it. Oh yeah, I remember. I pocketed that remaining $50 and took it home. So we need to record that $50 reduction of petty cash. This time, instead of recording an owner's contribution, we're going to record an owner's distribution because we took cash out of the business. Your account might have owner's draws, partner's distributions, or whatever your specific equity account structure is set up as, but it's going to act the same way. So let's walk through how to record that. Here in the petty cash register, we're going to go to the drop down arrow again and choose expense. We're going to choose the date, your name in the payee field. In the account field, enter owner's distributions or whatever your equity account is called. And in the amount field, let's enter that $50. And then we'll click save. And now our ending balance matches that $12 that we have here in the petty cash, and we can correctly reconcile that account. Now, if you're trying to stay more organized with your bookkeeping each month, I also have a free end-of-month bookkeeping checklist that walks through some of the key things that business owners should be reviewing and checking in their books each month. I'll put a link to that down in the description below this video. And actually, if you're watching this video and realizing you don't want to deal with tracking all of this yourself, that's exactly what we help business owners with here at 406 Bookkeeping Services. We work with businesses to help keep their books organized, accurate, and up to date so they can focus more on actually running their business instead of stressing over the bookkeeping. If that sounds like something you'd like help with, feel free to reach out. I'll put my contact information down in the description below.